AITA for telling my brother if he's reacting negatively to what I say he should look at how he reacted to what his children told him. My brother Mal has 3 kids ages 14, 12 and 10. Mal's wife passed away 4 years ago from an asthma attack. 2 years after she passed, Mal started dating again. Casually at first, but several months ago he met a woman he wants a more serious relationship with. He told his kids about her, and after a few weeks of them knowing, he sat them down and asked them to be honest about their feelings on him finding someone and dating. Highsider too told him they were sad he wanted to be with someone else, and that they wished he was more like grandma, mine and my brother's grandma to be specific, and was happy with the idea of their mom being his one and only like grandma felt grandpa was her one and only. They did say they would be happy for him. But that was how they felt. Youngest said they felt weird about someone maybe marrying him because they didn't want anyone taking their mom's position in the family. My brother was a lot of different things after that talk. Agitated, frustrated and even angry. He was talking to me about it and I could see how he was responding. I suggested that he should think of it as positive, that the kids want to support and be happy for him even with their feelings, and that he should be proud they could speak openly to him, because many kids might have lied because they didn't feel safe to be open. This did not help. After a couple of more weeks he was still in that same state. I suggested he speak to a therapist and he snapped at me, told me he didn't need a therapist because he knew how he was feeling. I didn't argue with him. Then after a few hours he called and said therapy wasn't needed, Ando was fine. The next day he came to my house and asked me why I was so unbothered by it all. I asked him what he meant and he told me he would have expected me to say the kids need to see things from his perspective. I told him I could see both points. That he was entitled and deserved to find happiness and love if he wanted that. That they had known grandma their whole lives and have heard how much she loved grandpa and never wanted another man after him, even after 50 years of him being gone, and it didn't shock me that they would want him to feel the same about their mom, because they loved both of them just as much as each other, and in their ideal world nobody else could compare for him, just like it's probably that way for them with her. He became so angry and told me I shouldn't want to deny him happiness in his life. I told him to stop and consider that if he was reacting that negatively to what I was saying, how had he reacted to his kids, because all the things I said about the kids feeling comfortable being honest with him would go out the window if he expressed all the anger at them for being honest when he asked for their honest feelings. He told me he couldn't believe I was saying he had no right to be angry and stormed off.
AITA for making my younger sister watch my baby? I 24F have my own apartment. My fiance is deployed and I have a 1-year-old son. My younger sister Ella 18 lives with me. She pays no rent and goes to nearby college. She has no job and I financially support her since she is in school. Our parents live 3 hours away, so it was a better fit. I work 5 days a week and my son is in daycare. I got called in on a Saturday. I'm off weekend. The daycare's closed weekends, and I pleaded with my sister to watch my son. She refused, and told Mite was her weekend off from school and she had a lot of studying to do. I told her I really needed her to do this for me. I never asked her. She told May should just find a sitter online. I told her no. You need to watch him. I take care of you and you can do this one thing for me, or you can go back and live with our parents. She got really upset and said I'm throwing what Ito for her in her face, and how she's an adult and my son wasn't her kid. She did agree though and I went to work. While I was on break I checked my phone and had numerous texts from my parents saying I was abusing my power over my sister, and that my son wasn't her responsibility. I never ever asked my sister for help with the baby. She lives with me so she's able to go to the school she wanted to go to.
AITA for calling my disabled friend's husband cruel for keeping her in the mountains? My friend, Tara, was in an accident about 2 years ago that put her in a wheelchair. She is able to stand for short amount of times and take a few steps, so she is pretty self-sufficient, but she needs her wheelchair. Especially when she wants to leave the house. The problem is that we live in an old town in the mountains that wasn't built with disabled people in mind. It's hard for Tara to get around during the summer and it's nearly impossible during the winter, since we get a lot of snow here. Tara tells me a lot how she wants to move out of the mountains, to the city, but her husband doesn't want them to, because all their family and friends are here. My husband got a great job opportunity in the city, so we are moving there. We were having a dinner with Tara and her husband and we were talking about us moving. Tara seemed happy. She said that if they move there too, it will be so good that we will already be there and their kids would have friends there too, our kids. She told her husband that now they don't have to worry about being alone and not knowing anyone there. Her husband shut her down, saying that they already talked about this and they need the help their families are providing them here and they can't move away. Tara said they wouldn't need so much help if she could move around more freely in the city. I took Tara's side and the conversation went on, until I started getting frustrated and told Tara's husband that he is cruel for forcing his wife to live in the mountains where her mobility is so limited. He got angry, told me I have no idea how hard it is for him even with all the help and I should mind my own business. He is right that I don't know how it is for him, but I do know how it is for Tara and that she is basically a prisoner here. AITA for what I said.
AITA for willing my estate to my children rather than my wife? I, 32M, have a wonderful wife, 30F, and 2 young children, 4F and 2F. I receive monthly royalties from a few very popular novels written in the 1990s. The author is a late great-uncle of mine and I happen to inherit part of his estate after his death. I won't disclose how much the royalties amount to as that may narrow me down, but I will say that it is comparable to what my friend earns as a physician. I haven't been spending any of the money I've received in royalties but have instead just invested it for my children's benefit. In my state, the law dictates that I can will half of the community property and all of my separate property to whoever I want without needing to be concerned about an elective share claim. Decided to will my separate property, the book rights and the separate investments, to my daughters. She can keep all of the community property. My wife is a wonderful woman and we've built a great life together. But prior to me inheriting my great-uncle's estate, she had insisted on keeping her own inheritances separate. Since standard, I don't feel like deviating from it now that it would be in her favor to do so. Not only that, if my wife remarries, I wouldn't want her new family, any other children she may have, to inherit the book rights. I want them to stay in my family. I wrote up and notarized my will the other day and gave her a heads up about what would be in it. She's been upset with what I've done. AITA for not wanting to cancel our honeymoon despise what happened with my brother-in-law. My husband, M32, and I, F24, just got married 3 weeks ago and we are currently celebrating our honeymoon. The plan was to travel for 2 months for different countries of Europe, Asia and Africa. We currently are in Spain and we are supposed to take a plane to Morocco in 2 days. However, my husband wants to cut the trip short and go back to our home now. The thing is his brother is in a horrible situation. His wife and daughter had a car crash and they're on the hospital. The kid is fine, Booth's wife has to be a little longer in the hospital, that's all I know. I told my husband that he understand he wants to support his brother but that he's not a doctor so he can't do anything to help really. And his brother's wife is fine. Probably only has a broken leg or something and that's why she needs some more days in the hospital. I told him to just call his brother and ask to talk with his wife so he can send her his best wishes and that's all that he can do honestly. His parents and his in-laws are helping with the kids so there's really nothing they need help in. I told him our honeymoon was important because time for ourselves to enjoy and spend together. He wasn't having any of it. He called me selfish and then he kicked me out of our bedroom. I had to ask for a new one until he decided to let me in again. He told me that he's leaving tomorrow because he needs to be supportive of his brother and told me I can continue the trip by myself. But that's not the point of us honeymoon at all, I told him so and he said that if he would have known how bitchy I was he would have never dated me. Am I really wrong here? Sorry, I can't reply to every comment but I'm trying.
AITA for telling my friend that she can't expect us to drop everything for her? I have a friend, Victoria, 30F, who I love dearly but she has a quirk that I cannot stand. Victoria's notoriously indecisive. Sometimes it can be voided, others not much. And #X200B. The last big point of contention was 5 years ago, when she got married. People took off work, booked flights, etc. All for her to change her mind just months before the wedding. Both times, there was no emergency or reason to change the date. She just found a better venue and it was still early enough to get deposits back on the original, so she did it. Of course, people were upset. And once again, a lot of people couldn't come to the new date. A few of us tried to tell her to manage her expectations. Victoria just kept saying it was her special day. She could do with it what she wanted. And what's worse is, 2 friends in our group supported this behavior. And #X200B. We've had some minor issues where we'll start planning group trips, only for her to back out or want to change everything. We never lose money, but it's still annoying. And still, we resolved this. basically planning everything and telling her where to show up, and #X200B. Cut to the next time that's not possible, this year. Victoria is pregnant with her first kid. She helped plan the shower and pick the venue, a friend's house, date, etc. This time we triple-checked that this is what she wanted. She said, the shower is supposed to be in 2 weeks. Then, she changed her mind. She wanted to change the venue and the date. And #X200B, once again, several people can't come. And this time, I'm included. My husband and I have an anniversary trip planned. Non-refundable tickets and resort accommodations. We're also going somewhere that doesn't allow technology. And #X200B. Victoria asked me to reschedule and I said I can't, I'm sorry, but I'll send a gift. She got really upset and said she wanted me there. I sympathized but said I had this trip planned for over a year. She then mentioned how many other people can't come. I pointed out maybe it's a sign to shower on the same date, same venue, etc., especially as our friend is still willing to host. Victoria tried to pull the same old, it's my special day, you only get one baby shower, etc. I got fed up and told her that she is well within her rights to change the date, but that it is inconsiderate to constantly do this last minute. I pointed out while she's free to do what she wants, she has to stop getting mad at others for having lives and not dropping everything for her. Victoria began to cry and hung up. Our friend group is divided. Some think I should have just let her be upset. She'd get over it in time. That it wasn't the place to bring up my issue with her indecisive nature. Others have told me that I did the right thing. So, AITA,